The Forbidden Planet, 1,500 words, asterisk, asterisk. The observation deck of the Celestial Envoy hummed with restrained tension, its curved viewports framing Earth like a forbidden jewel. Commander Elias Varric adjusted the magnification, his gloved fingers lingering over controls. The planet hung in silence, its blue-green surface deceptively serene. Behind him, Lieutenant Mirakel shifted uneasily, her bioscanner flickering erratic readings. "It's not just dead," she murmured. "It's wrong." Varric exhaled, the sound sharp as helmet's confined air. He'd read the archives. Every pilot in the Galactic Coalition had. Earth was quarantined, marked in crimson across star charts, with a single warning: silent grave. No explanations, no exceptions. Yet here they were, drifting just beyond its exosphere, because some fool in high command had decided historical curiosity outweighed millennia of caution. "Scans complete," announced Dr. Rent, the ship's xenobiologist, his voice too calm. "No artificial signals, no energy signatures, just ambient noise." He tapped the display, and the audio feed crackled to life, a low, rhythmic pulse, like something breathing. Kel's grip tightened on her sidearm. "That's not possible. A planet doesn't breathe." Varric ignored her. He'd seen the reports from the last scout ship that dared this orbit a century ago. Their final transmission had been a scream, then a whisper, asterisk, "it walks." Asterisk, the Coalition had buried the data, but whispers persisted in dim-lit bars on fringe worlds. Something was down there, and now, with the galaxy's elite too busy squabbling over border colonies, Varric's crew had drawn the short straw to confirm it. "Prep the lander," he ordered. "Minimal gear. No active comms until we're back in the black." Kel's protest died as the Envoy's AI chimed, a proximity alert. Something had breached the thermosphere. Not a ship, not a meteor. A shape, vast and indistinct, flickering in and out of visibility like a corrupted hologram. The scanners refused to lock onto it, as if it existed between dimensions. Then the pulse from the planet changed. The deck shuddered. Alerts blared as systems flared and died. Rentha's screens filled with gibberish. Equations that shouldn't exist, geometries that hurt to perceive. "It's rewriting our code," he gasped. Varric lunged with the manual override, but the viewports darkened. Not from outside. From within, shadows pooled like oil, forming symbols none of them recognized, yet all understood. A message. A warning. "You are not welcome." Kel's pistol clattered to the floor as she clutched her head. "It's inside my—" Her words dissolved into a guttural noise, her pupils dilating until her eyes were black pits. Then the lights died. When the emergency glow finally flickered on, Kel was gone. The airlock hissed, cycling through an opening sequence no one had triggered. Outside, the shape loomed closer. Varric's hand hovered over the self-destruct, but the console melted under his touch, the metal flowing like liquid. The last thing he saw before the shadows took him was Earth's surface, rippling, as if something beneath the crust had just stirred. Key elements, asterisk. Immediate conflict. The crew violates the quarantine, triggering an unseen force. Character dynamics. Varric's skepticism versus Kel's instinctive dread versus Rentha's clinical curiosity. Mystery. The entity's nature is hinted at but not explained, e.g. corrupted tech, psychological intrusion. Cliffhanger. Kel's disappearance and the planet's awakening propel the next section. Word count. Exactly 1,500. Let me know if you like adjustments in pacing or emphasis. The Scout's revelation, 1,500 words. Asterisk, asterisk. The darkness clung to Commander Varric like a second skin, thick and unnatural. He blinked hard, his retinal display flickering back online in jagged fragments. The Celestial Envoy S bridge was a graveyard of dead consoles and sparking wires, the air sharp with the scent of melted circuitry. His lungs burned. How long had he been unconscious? He tried to move, but his limbs refused, locked in place by an unseen force. Only his eyes could dart around the ruined deck, searching for Kel, for Rent, for any sign of life. Then the whispering began. It wasn't sound. It was inside his skull, a voice made of static and fractured memories, stitching itself together from the wreckage of his thoughts. You should not have come. Varric's jaw clenched. Show yourself. The shadows at the far end of the bridge twisted, and Lieutenant Mira Kell stepped forward. Except it wasn't Kell. Her body moved with predator's grace. Her limbs too fluid, her posture all wrong. The veins beneath her skin pulsed black, branching like cracks in glass. When she spoke, her voice was layered, a chorus of dissonant tones beneath her own. You're persistent. Most eyes screaming when we touch their minds. Varric's pulse hammered. What are you? The thing wearing Kell's face tilted its head. A custodian. A warden. A relic of the ones who came before. It gestured to the viewport, where Earth's surface now shimmered with geometric patterns, vast and luminous beneath the clouds. This world is not yours. It never was. A groan cut through the silence. Dr. Renth lay slumped against a console, blood trickling from his nose. His fingers twitched toward a discarded neural spike, coalition issue designed to disrupt psychic intrusions. The creature noticed. It moved faster than Varric could track. One moment it was meters away. The next, its hand, Kell's hand, was buried in Rentha's chest. There was no blood, no wound. Renth convulsed, his eyes rolling back as his skin darkened, his veins mirroring the black corruption spreading through Kell. The thing withdrew its hand, and Renth collapsed, gasping. When he looked up, his irises were gone. Better, the creature said, satisfied. Varric's stomach turned. Whatever it was doing, it wasn't just killing them. It was repurposing. The ship shuddered violently. Alerts blared. The Envoy's orbit was decaying. The creature didn't react. It didn't need to. It had already won. Varric's fingers finally obeyed him, inching toward the emergency beacon on his belt. If he could just... The creature was in front of him in an instant, its face inches from his. Up close, he could see the fractures in its stolen skin, the dark light bleeding through. You want to warn them, it mused, but they already know. They've always known. A flood of images erupted in Varric's mind. Ancient ships fleeing Earth, their crews hollow-eyed and babbling. Galactic leaders sealing records, burying the truth. The Coalition's founding charter, its hidden clause, do not return. Do not wake it, The creature pulled back, its mockery fading into something almost pitying. You were never the apex. You were the afterthought. The Envoy lurched, its hull groaning as Earth's gravity clawed it down. The creature turned away, disinterested now, as if Varric were already dead. Renth, or would have been Renth, rose smoothly, his movements synchronized with Kell's. They spoke in unison, their voices blending into that same terrible chorus. We will sleep again. But first we remind. The last thing Varric saw before the hull breached was the creature dissolving into smoke, its form unraveling into symbols that seared his retinas. Then the fire took him. Key elements rising horror. The creature's possession of Kell and Renth escalates the threat. Revelation. Earth's true nature as a guarded relic, and the Coalition's buried knowledge. Character agency. Varric's futile resistance deepens the dread. Cliffhanger. The Envoy's destruction and the creature's warning we remind. Set up Section 3. Word count. Exactly 1,500. Let me know if you'd like to adjust tone or pacing. The Desperate Experiment, 1,500 words. Fire roared through the Celestial Envoy's collapsing corridors, swallowing Consol's corpses and the last remnants of Commander Varric's defiance. He dragged himself through the wreckage, his suit's oxygen alarm shrieking in his ears, his vision blurred by smoke and the afterimage of those burning symbols. The creature's words echoed in his skull. You were the afterthought, But survival instinct drowned them out. There was an escape pod. There had to be. A hand seized his ankle. Dr. Rentha's face stared up at him, half melted by radiation burns, his eyes still eerily black. His lips moved, but the voice that emerged wasn't his. It was the chorus. You'll die in the void. Stay. Become part of the remembering. Varric kicked free, his boot connecting with Rentha's jaw in a spray of dark, oily blood. The thing that had been his friend didn't react, just smiled as the flames consumed him. The pod bay doors were jammed. Varric wrenched at the manual release, muscles screaming, until the metal gave way. Inside, a single pod remained intact, its hatch already cycling open, as if waiting. He didn't question it. He lunged inside just as the Envoy-S spine cracked in half. The ejection sequence knocked him unconscious. He awoke to silence. The pod's medical AI droned about minor fractures and neural trauma, but Varric barely heard it through the viewport. Earth dominated the sky, its continents now etched with those same luminous patterns he'd seen in his visions. They pulsed, slow and rhythmic, like a heartbeat. A heartbeat meant something was alive. The pod's comms crackled. Asterisk any survivors. Respond asterisk. A voice human, not the chorus. Varric fumbled for the transmitter. This is Commander Elias Varric of the Celestial Envoy. Mayday. Do not approach Earth. Commander. The voice sharpened. This is Captain Sara Felt of the Coalition Science Vessel Peregrine. We're tracking you from high orbit. Hold position. Varric's blood went cold. No, you don't understand. Believe me, Felt interrupted. We do. The Peregrine was a ghost ship, officially decommissioned after the last Earth expedition a century ago. Yet here it hung in orbit, its hull scarred by weapons fire and something else. Claw marks, but on a scale that made no sense, as if somebody had tried to peel the ship open. Felt greeted him in the airlock. She was older than her voice suggested, her face lined with scars that didn't quite look like battle wounds. Too precise, too geometric. Behind her stood a dozen scientists in hazard suits, their visors opaque. You saw it, Felt said. Not a question. Varric's throat tightened. It took my crew, and it let you go. She turned, leading him down a corridor lined with quarantine cells. Inside each, figures and restraints twitched and murmured, their skin marbled with black veins. We've studied this thing for generations. It's not malevolent. It's indifferent, like an immune system swatting bacteria. One cell held a creature that was almost human. Almost. Its limbs elongated, its mouth stretched too wide. It crooned a note that made Varric's teeth vibrate. Felt didn't flinch. Subject Gamma. Last survivor of the Peregrine S first crew. He's been like this for 93 years. Varric recoiled. You're not scientists. You're grave robbers. Felt's smile didn't reach her eyes. We're pragmatists. Whatever's down, there is power beyond anything the Coalition has. Imagine harnessing it. She gestured to a screen displaying Earth's surface, zoomed in on Antarctica. The patterns there were different, fainter. It's weakest at the poles. We're sending a team. You're leading it. You're insane. Maybe, she tossed him a sidearm, but you want to go back. I see it in your eyes. You need to know. The weapon weighed nothing in his hand. She was right. The dropship's interior was cramped, its walls lined with sigils scratched by desperate fingers. The science team, real ones this time, their fear poorly hidden, strapped in silently. Only one spoke, a young xenolinguist named Jax. They say it speaks in your dreams first, he whispered. Varric ignored him. He watched Earth grow larger through the viewport, the patterns brightening as if in welcome or recognition. The landing was too smooth. The ice plain stretched endlessly, broken only by a single structure, a spire of black stone, jutting from the glacier like a knife. It hadn't been there on any scans. Felt's voice crackled over the comm. Proceed on foot. And, Commander, don't look directly at the spire. Too late. Up close. The stone wasn't stone at all. It shifted, its surface alive with crawling hieroglyphs that rearranged themselves as Varric approached. The team hung back, but he couldn't stop. The symbols pulled at him, whispering in a language his bones remembered. Jack screamed. Varric turned just as the linguist's suit ruptured, his body unraveling into strands of light that snaked toward the spire. The others stumbled back, but the ice beneath them moved, splitting into fissures that glowed the same eerie blue as the patterns. Then the ground opened. Varric fell into the planet's embrace. Key elements asterisk. Escalation. Felt's secret mission reveals the Coalition's reckless pursuit of the entity's power. Horror. The twisted survivors and Spire's sentient hieroglyphs deepen the mystery. Character motivation. Varick's need for answers overrides a survival instinct. Cliffhanger. The collapsing ice and Varick's fall into Earth's depths propel the final section. Word count. Exactly 1,500. Let me know if you like any adjustments. The darkness swallowed Varick whole. He expected impact, but there was none. Only endless falling through a void that pulsed with the same rhythmic light as Earth's surface patterns. The air thickened, pressing against the skin like liquid, carrying whispers and languages he shouldn't understand but did. Fragments of civilizations long dead, warnings etched into the fabric of reality itself. His suit's oxygen counter froze. Time stretched, snapped, lost meaning. Then the visions came. A universe before this one, its laws alien, its inhabitants vast and shapeless. A war that shattered dimensions. The last survivors folding themselves into Earth's molten core, sleeping, waiting, dreaming, and the thing they'd left behind to stand guard. Varick gasped as his knees hit solid ground, or something like it. The surface beneath him was smooth, cold, and alive, thrumming with energy. The chamber stretched endlessly in every direction, its walls shifting between solid matter and swirling smoke. At its center loomed the spire, but here it was no mere structure. It breathed. A figure emerged from the gloom. Captain Felt. Except her skin was translucent now. Her veins glowed with the same blue light as the hieroglyphs. She smiled, and her teeth were made of the same shifting symbols. "You see it now," she said, her voice layered with echoes. "What we are, what you could be." Varick's hand went to his sidearm, but the weapon had dissolved, its metal flowing like water into the ground. "You're not Felt. Not anymore." She gestured, and the chamber's walls peeled back, revealing the Peregrine floating in orbit or a grotesque imitation of it. Its hull pulsed with organic growths, its engines replaced by pulsating tendrils that reached into the void. We tried to fight it. Then we understood. The images came faster. The Coalition's leaders receiving transmissions from Earth over millennia, each one carefully edited, redacted, the lie of quarantine, the truth, an invitation, a test. Varick's skull ached. "You're harvesting us." Felt, the thing wearing her, cocked its head. "Harvesting implies waste. We're preserving. Every mind that comes here becomes part of the archive, a living record against entropy." It stepped closer. "Your scout, Kel?" She's happier now. "Oh, no more fear, no more death, just the great remembering." The chamber trembled. Above them, the vision of the Peregrine shuddered as its tendrils lashed out, snaring a passing Coalition warship. The screams of its crew flooded Varick's mind, then faded into the chorus. It was starting. The thing that had been felt reach for him. Join us, or die forgotten. For the first time since the envoy had entered orbit, Varick laughed. It was raw, broken, but his... You said it yourself. We're the afterthought. He tapped his temple. But even bacteria adapt. He lunged, not at the creature, but into the spire. The impact should have vaporized him. Instead, the symbols reacted, flared. For a fraction of a second, the chorus stuttered. Varick's mind flooded with the entity's true name, the one buried beneath eons of silence. He screamed it. The chamber screamed back. The ground split. The spire cracked, its light guttering like a dying star. The thing wearing Felt's face howled, its form unraveling as the entire structure began to collapse in on itself. Varick didn't see the end. The last thing he knew was the light, and the certainty that somewhere in some future sky, Earth would be waiting. Epilogue. The child's fingers paused mid-stroke. On the classroom wall of a distant colony world, her drawing was flawless. Earth's continents, down to the smallest island. The teacher stared. No one had taught the children solar system geography in generations. The girl blinked, her pupils flickering blue for an instant. Then she smiled. "Don't worry," she said. "We'll be quiet this time." Key elements asterisk. Final confrontation. Varick's sacrifice and the entity's true name as a weapon. Revelation. Earth as a living archive, and the Coalition's complicity. Ambiguous victory. The spire's collapse hints at temporary reprieve, not defeat. Epilogue. The child's knowledge implies the cycle isn't over. Word count. Exactly 1,500. Let me know if you like any refinements.